And good morning to you all. Happy Friday. I hate when people say happy Friday. I hate that I just said that. Anyways, Seth gets his Tesla today, his Sethla. Jobs come in. Peloton's falling apart. Here we go. Let's just do it right now. Bacon memes, you sure were wrong on the color. Gray shirt, black jacket, black vest. Anyways, okay, so jobs numbers come in. Where do we even start? Tesla. Seth gets a Tesla today. That's awesome. He gets the Model Y. He orders it a couple of weeks ago. He gets it. I ordered mine in like February. I still got nada. But that's disruption, baby. All right, let's do it. Let's start with the jobs number that came out. So let me put this into perspective for you. October jobs number, payrolls grow by 531,000 as unemployment rate falls. 531,000 jobs created versus 450,000 jobs created. Hold on a second here. Okay. I have this piece of paper in my hand that I wrote down in April. Well, I wrote it down in March, but it was talking about the April jobs number that was going to come out. They said that 1 million jobs they were expecting 1 million jobs at that point in April. 531,000 jobs is good, sure. But put it in perspective when we're looking 6 months later, whatever that is, and we're creating half the number that we were expecting in April. All I want to do is just put things into perspective here. Everybody gets excited about the numbers and the expectations and stuff, but put it in perspective of where you were and where you thought you were going to be several months ago. It just shows where the economy really is, and it shows where analysts' heads really are. They are up there, you know what. Okay, what do I want to go to next? Airlines. Airlines to me are like they're kind of like the heartbeat of the country. I mean, especially for business travel. I mean, if you need business travel, there has been significant drop in business travel. Now, many companies might stay that way because they've realized that it's better. But I'll be honest with you, my dad traveled a lot. He probably traveled 4 days a week when I was younger, and he did it for 20 some odd years. But I was always like, Dad, why don't you just use FaceTime and Zoom and all of these different things when you go and talk to somebody? He's like, yeah, it's easier in person. He would fly to London for 24 hours and come back. And I'm like, man, that's crazy. And then I got into the real world and the business world. It is much easier to communicate in person than it is over Zoom or FaceTime or something like that. So with that being said, I don't necessarily think that business airline travel is going to be gone for so long. So anyways, let's see what we got. Airlines have avoided mass layoffs in exchange for billions of dollars in government grants. Looking at carriers like United, American, Delta, and Southwest, they all cut their employee numbers with early retirement and buyout programs. I know a person that worked for United. He got a hell of a deal to retire early. That was right as COVID was happening in March of 2020. That left the industry short-staffed, and it began to recover this past spring. Jobs in that industry have fell from 742,000, just over that, in August of 19 to 719,000. Elizabeth Bryant, she is, Southwest Airlines. I don't know what she does there. Anyways, she said she's vice president of Southwest University. That's the airline's new employee training center. Everyone works around the aircraft. This is really good for what I think is happening with Southwest. Everyone who works around the aircraft or works with our customers come in for technical training and how to, and then we offer leadership and employee development training. So they're trying to hire you, stick around, work your way up the company. That's great. Southwest plans to hire 5,300 people by the end of this year and says it's more than halfway to its goal. The airline will also hire another 8,000 next year. Looking into Delta, we haven't put that number of employees at $15 minimum wage yet, but we certainly are hiring pilots. We are hiring flight attendants, mechanics. I'd say those are the three main areas. American Airlines, they are adequately staffed for the holidays. We'll know more once we finalize our 2022 budget, but we see pressure from fuel prices that are going to be the hurdle for them before they can ramp up operations. And United has said that they have hired 1,000 new pilots, so that's cool. All right, let's do Costco. What a company, man! Charlie Munger, one of Charlie Munger's biggest holdings. Costco is dominating ahead of the holiday season. They appear to be gaining momentum going into the holiday season. All these companies you hear about, they're falling in momentum. It's really tough out there. They're gaining in momentum. Look at this. All Costco departments notch sales increases paced by gains in consumer and consumable goods and fresh foods as consumers continue to invest in their cupboards during the pandemic. Costco said Wednesday that October retail sales surged 17.5%. Analysts were looking for 9.3% overall same-store sales from a month ago. What a company this is. Look at this trajectory over the last 10 years. Shares have increased 38% year-to-date compared to 25% for the S&P 500. Compare this with Walmart and Target. Walmart, 5% increase, and Target, 48% increase. Sheesh. What a company. What a company. Okay, let's do this one. Tesla and Hertz reportedly have a disagreement over how fast Tesla can deliver the electric cars. It was funny when the CEO, Elon Musk, comes out and says, we don't have a we don't have a demand problem, we have a production problem. So apparently there's some kind of disagreement going on of how fast they can get the cars out. I mean, Hertz has to understand that they can't get the car. I mean, they always have supplying issues. So it's no surprise. Elon Musk said he put the brakes on everything that happened with Hertz last week because he said there's no contract signed. They want 100,000 cars. Tesla's not giving them any discount. And that to me is disruptive. Costco is disruptive. You want a real disruptive company? Actually, they're not. I'm just making that up. All they do is sell stuff. Housing analyst from the pre-crash warning. Her name is Ivy Zellman. She spoke in 2005, I guess, about the housing collapse, and she said it was going to happen. Everybody says that they said it was going to happen. After a historic run-up in values during the pandemic, the U.S. housing market is at or near its peak, she says. She's cautioning clients. This is from Bloomberg, by the way. She's cautioning clients that overheated areas with heavy concentration of investors, including Phoenix, are likely to face corrections. A modest rise in 30-year mortgage rates, even to 4%, would bring down a halt to demand. I think this is more correct than the entire housing market falling apart. It's probably specific areas. Guys, smash the like button for me. Let's get this thing to 200 by the end of the show. Cracks are already appearing. The pace of price growth nationwide has started to slow as COVID boom towns such as Boise, Idaho, Salt Lake City, bidding wars are suddenly giving away to discounts. I mean, we're even seeing it in small communities here in Cleveland, like the Lakewood area. I mean, I have a friend, I've told this story multiple times. He listed his house for $180. First day, 63 showings, 13 offers, sold it for $60,000 over ask, cash, done. Crazy. But that was in the midst of all of this going bonkers. That was maybe before the summer, maybe late spring, something like that. She isn't forecasting okay, I'm bored of this story. Next, Peloton. If I'm bored, you're going to be bored. So I'm not going to be bored. Peloton stock tanks on weak holiday forecast. So this one is interesting, guys. The company's down right now 30 to 35%. Seems a little extreme for me. They missed their holiday. They're expecting their holiday sales to come in at 1.1 to 1.2 billion. Analysts thought it was going to be at 1.5 billion. I do believe that they have completely underestimated their people staying at home. People like going to the gym. And plus, Peloton's a cardio activity. And if you want to do anything as far as lifting weights, you're not doing it from I mean, I know they have 3-pound weights, but come on, let's get real. If you want to actually like put on some muscle, you're going to go to a gym and lift up real weights, not 3-pound weights and do yoga. So they're good in their target audience, but I do believe that it's not a replacement for a gym if you want to lift weights. So, yeah, it was totally a COVID stock. I mean, but it's fallen 30 some odd %, and we're going to see what happens with it. It's clear that we underestimated the reopening impact on our company. If you look at Planet Fitness yesterday, they crushed it because people are going back to gyms. Peloton told investors that it expected annual revenue of $5.4 billion, but executives pulled that range down to $4.4 billion and suggested they will make cuts to their margins. Also, don't forget, they've made cuts to their bikes and the original bike, and they've made cuts to their, well, they took out the Tread Plus. Tread Plus is just gone. So here's what I think is going to happen. Why don't we just pull up the chart? Let's pull up the chart and I'll just show you. PTON. So this gap to me is just insane. Let's see if we can get that thing in there. Where is it? Okay, there it is. So here it's going to open the morning down here. I do believe this will fill. And I think as soon as just as irrational as this is totally irrational. As soon as the Tread Plus comes out, people are going to go, hallelujah, Peloton's back. And this thing is going to come skyrocketing up here somewhere in this area. So I'm keeping a watch on it. That's all I know. This is going to be a really good one. I disagree with you, HP. Peloton is not a joke of a company. Peloton makes a phenomenal product and they made a phenomenal community. It's just niche and it's expensive, well, which makes them even more niche. But it's not a joke of a company at all. Pinterest earnings, so this is why I pulled this story up. Pinterest, remember, they were supposed to be, well, they weren't supposed to do anything. There was a rumor that came out that said that PayPal was going to acquire them last week or the week before. And the reason was because PayPal was losing usership and Pinterest was gaining usership. Then, of course, that deal that was never confirmed by either company. It was just a rumor. And then there was a shortfall in monthly active users with Pinterest. So that's why I pulled this one up. So I think it's actually pretty funny. Yeah, Peloton needs to enter gyms. Good point. Revenue soared 43% year over year, which is actually surprising coming out of COVID. They do have their new shoppable features on their app. Their app is great. I use it to design every house that I've moved into, and I've done 2 of them now. One of them, not as much as the other one, but the one that I'm standing in right now, this house I designed from studs to, I don't know what you call it, studs to blankets laying on the couch for no reason. That's probably what it was. All right, that's that. I want to pull up some wins and losses from this week. I'm just going to pull up my Discord chat, and let's look at this. So I asked for wins and losses of the week from the bid and ask. So I like to know the stock, the type of trade, your percent gain, percent loss, and if you lost, I want to know why you lost. Because if you lost and you don't know why you lost, well, that's a disaster. If you lost and have a reason and you don't do it again, it's a loss worth taking. Solon, 9.18% on Geo going long. Let's see here. Wins. Lucid, losses. SEAH because I followed unrealistic guys on Twitter and I regret it. Hey, as long as you don't do it again. Batman, 10% on HLAG long. Fuel Cell, 4% long. That was a day swing trade. 4.14% on Fuel Cell. This guy, look at this Baba trade. What the F? Almost 13 G's. Congrats. 4% on Plug, 2% on Fuel Cell. Here's Remrem. This is all paper trading. So, and it's interesting. He's one of the few people that I see in there that's actually paper trading. I love it. I just love it. So, what else do we have here? And what he said, oh, I didn't really trust the trend. That's great. I really like to see that. 2.3% on Fuel Cell. So, guys, the point here is there's a few more down here. 3% on Fuel Cell. Facebook, 1%. Made 6% on SRG since 1013 going long. That's great. AMD 13%, BBY 4% losses, minus 2%. Jumped on this before stochastic hit the sweet spot. Oh, there's your mistake. And before there was enough volume, very good. So as long as your guys are telling me why you're losing, I'm happy with it. I'll take those losses all day long. All right. What else do we have? That's it. Give me some stocks and we'll run through them. I'm going to just check the markets while you guys are typing. And we'll go from there. Stocks are up, as usual. Wow, look at that. Look at that yield tick down. So, guys, be aware. I'm sure everything's reporting before the bell on Friday. Maybe there's probably one company. So let's look into Monday. But I want you to also, AMC reports Monday, Virgin Galactic, PayPal, Roblox, Zynga, Smile Direct Club. There's going to be a couple stocks that we're going to pay attention to today, so we'll rip through those. Guys, if you want to join Everything Money community, $29 a month gets you access to that. Oh, Tim has to open a few more slots to that. And we'll do that. If you want to join me in the Bid and Ask Nation, guys, by the way, I'm doing a seminar tomorrow. 9 a.m. Eastern time. I'm doing a seminar. I'll be right here answering all your questions. I'm going to teach some pattern recognition, teach some shorting, teach a little bit of day trading. And then we're going to get into all your questions. And I do that once a month, every Saturday. I give you guys 6 days a week. Sometimes. That's crazy. Man, am I a nice person. Just kidding. If you want to join Paul's Super Shorts, $500 a month. If you want to do a one-on-one session with me, $750 for 1 hour of a 1 hour Zoom call. Talk about whatever you want to do. And I did Curtis on a one-on-one with Curtis on Wednesday. And he's asking all the right questions at this point, which I love. $10,000 gets you a 4-hour real estate deal with Paul. And if you want to do a deal in this market, probably a good person to do it with. So, all right, let's get some stocks. I want to start with Peloton and Pinterest. Nope, not Pinterest. Peloton and Penn Gaming. So Peloton, let's zoom out. I'm just going to show you guys what I'm noticing here. I made a video for a couple of friends this morning, and I'm just going to show you. All right. So we're going to open up the morning down on this orange line. Now, what do I notice? Every time you get a gap down, let me zoom this over. Every time you get a gap down on Peloton, I shouldn't say every, most gap right here, stock continues to fall in price. Where else do we have a gap? Bear with me. I'm just trying to move this thing around so I could show you guys. Okay, here we go. Gap down right here on good earnings. Now remember, that was good earnings. Falls in price a little bit, and then the second day, it falls even more. Okay, let's go to the next day. This was not earnings. This is when the kids were getting sucked under the machine. Falls, continues to fall the next day. Now let's zoom over a little bit more. This day, here we go. Stock price gaps down on bad earnings, and it continues to fall. Today, gap down on bad earnings all the way down into this area down here. I am expecting it to fall a little bit more. That's the point of my my drawings right now and everything that I'm telling you. So I don't think that the fall on Peloton is completely over, so be patient with that one before you get going. All right. What else do you need? Penn. So Penn reported disastrous earnings yesterday. and then they had bad news come out, but they're already recovering. They're up here pre-market, up $2.50. So just keep a watch on this one over here. This is where I would trade this, or I would trade it on a 15-minute chart. I would not do anything with it besides that. AMCX, it's kind of boring, but sure. Do you have can you take a look at KO? Sure, of course. AMC first. So it's funny when you look and you see AMC where it's pulled back to. Is this AMCX? Okay, AMCX. Yeah. So I love the trend that's happening over here. You're getting a good charge in volume. Just beware of earnings. They reported, right? They had to have reported if it's green. Yep, they reported. So that's great. See if you can get an influx of buying volume and just keep making engulfing candlesticks up. And if you want to follow it on a long-term trend, that would be also a good idea. Let's see here. What else I just answered a question. I just saw, KO. My bad. All right. KO. Guys, don't forget, we're going to do the book club today. Paul and I, for our EM community, we have the book club at 10:30 this morning. We're going to go through chapters 12 through 15 of the Psychology of Money. So even if you haven't read the book, please join in. This is looking really good, KO. If you get engulfing candlesticks, you can certainly jump on this thing. Just be aware of your resistance that you're going to face at this point from the summertime. That is what I would do. Okay, Peloton should partner with Plant. Oh boy. Maybe I should start screening these messages before I just blindly read them. Okay. When did they go public? January of 21. So I know why you're looking. Beachbody's been around for a very long time, but here's the problem with Beachbody on a chart. I like to have 1 year of chart, and I don't have that because look at this. I just got a 200-day moving average last week. That's all we got. So that one I'm not too keen on right now, just because I want to have a little more data. If I was you, go and day trade this, but I understand why you asked me this question because you wanted me to compare it over to Peloton. So guys, smash the like button for me. Oh, Beam. I'll do Beam after Texas Instruments. So this is looking good. They really gapped down on earnings. I'm sure it has to do with the forecast and the chips. Looking great over here. You've had about 7 days or 6 days of consistent volume, which I love, bouncing right off the 200-day moving average. If you get an engulfing candlestick over the 100-day moving average, go ahead and get in on this thing. I am going to, well, I guess I can't write it down because I don't have a pen, so that's sweet. All right, let's see. What was the other one? Beam. Is Beam the Beam Therapeutics? Yeah, this is the cannabis people. Danica Patrick is an endorser of them. That's why I know this one. If it's the same company. All right, so they are just sitting stuck right between the 100 and 200-day moving averages. Just completely stuck. So what I would do here, just look for a little pop up here. Wait for this thing to move into the sweet spot because over here, since you're bouncing off the 100-day moving average, you're gonna have a downtrend until you hit the 200-day moving average. Then you're gonna go back up. So you're just gonna probably consolidate right in here. I would just be careful with this one. If you want to swing trade it back and forth between the 1 and 200, perfect idea. Perfect idea. Visa. Let's see what Visa looks like. Visa looks great. I don't know what you're looking at. Because that doesn't look great to me. So we have a downtrend over here, and it's actually in the oversold area. And over here, we're just kind of sitting on the bottom. So not a big fan of that. Next, DKNG, Donkey Kong. Oh, DraftKings, my bad. All right. Line. Yep. Consolidation in here. So you're sitting, so wherever this price is gapped down to today, 42.50. This thing can certainly, yeah. So the fact that we're sitting at all of these support lines that I just drew, and we're at the bottom of the stochastic down here, tells me that this thing is very likely to turn up and get a good move on it. So somebody throw this onto a watch list. And sure, tag me in the bid and ask. Why don't we go and look at this one? This is looking really good. Nike was looking pretty solid. Yep, my bad. Nike was looking really solid. So, okay, I like Nike. I like what Nike is doing. If you my fear was that you were going to run into this top right here and just fall right back down. That was my fear, that the volume was going to start to fall off. If you can get an engulfment today, you can add to it even though it's a Friday. I am perfectly fine with that. Just play with stops because you're getting into that overbought area. What else do you guys have? Oh, CCL. So CCL is, the run is over on CCL, which is no surprise. Every time it runs into moving averages, it falls right back down. So that's exactly what happened. Now it could hover up here for a little while. There's no doubt, but with what it's doing right now, I'm not really too keen on it. If you do get a sweet spot reversal here and you want to run it up to this level, take profits at just under $28. And if it gets through 28, take profits going into 32. Hey, Matt, could you do a Vimeo, please? Oh, could you do Vimeo? I didn't even know Vimeo was public. Applied Materials. Yeah. So let's see. Look, AMAT is looking really good. It's doing that same weird stochastic that Walmart was doing. Now, if you get an engulfing candlestick like this today, and you have good volume, because it's Friday, so be careful, and you have good volume, then I think that you can go ahead and get in on Applied Materials. Next question, Vimeo. I really like their camera or their video service. It's very nice. It always looks pretty good. Vimeo is completely okay. So here's the deal with Vimeo. I got traded on a 15-minute chart. This company went public when? May 19th of this year. They don't even have a 200-day moving average. There's no 200-day for me to look at over here. It's barely 100 days old. So I'm going to have to pass on this one. Go trade it on a 15-minute chart if you want to. Costco, good question. We just talked about that one. More all-time highs. This is a power stock. So a power stock is a company that moves up through the sweet spot, goes sideways in the overbought area, and it's over all four of its major moving averages, and it just continues to make all-time highs, and that's Costco. What a company. Next, let's see here. JP Morgan is turning into a downtrend. I assume that all banks are probably turning into a downtrend. So let's pull up JP Morgan. Well, let's just look at XLF. XLF is the big bank ETF of the S&P 500, and we are starting to get a little bit of turnover there. Let's type in Bank of America. Starting to get a little roll there. Let's type in BlackRock. Ooh. Oh, that's Blackstone. BlackRock. BLK. Yeah, BlackRock. Oh, interesting. Let's type in Goldman Sachs. Interesting. Okay, so not all banks are doing it. That's why you have XLF looking like this. You're still at 92% on your %K, but JP Morgan is starting to fall apart. So that's interesting. So if you get engulfing candlesticks down, you can go for it. But I'm telling you right now, please take profits going into your 100-day moving average. Do not try to short it through the 100-day because I'm telling you, you're going to get burned. XOM. Looks pretty good. We're just maybe getting a little roll over here. Daily is a little bit down. A lot of selling volume coming in. No big deal. I personally would keep a watch on all of these oils going long through the winter. Next. FedEx. They have filled the gap. So this is the gaps that I always talk about. Well, it's almost filled the gap. It's pretty much there. Needs maybe another couple bucks, but keep watching it here. You have a really nice trend developing. Here's just make sure that you're not trading FedEx on earnings. FedEx is always crazy on earnings, so please don't get in there and trade FedEx on earnings. So, okay, what do we have here? Walgreens Boots. So Walgreens is just consolidating and has been since the end of summer. We're just kind of stuck in this range-bound area between 47 and 50, which is no surprise. It's just hovering right on top of all its moving averages. So I would implore you to swing trade this, and try to get something up to the 200-day moving average. And if you can get through it, that's great. If you can't, well, I don't know what to tell you. UAL. United Airlines. So airlines going into the Christmas season are going to be interesting this year. I would usually throw these on my Christmas list of stocks and be pretty heavy on them. But I don't know which direction airlines are going to go this year. I mean, I have a feeling that if we have any day of big cancellations, weather related, anything. It's going to be your airlines are going to get hit pretty bad. So because they have nothing else to fall back on, I would be careful with these. Yeah, I would just be careful with these. All right. What else do we have? There was one. Oh, I want to look at Baba because they reported earnings yesterday, or do they report today? I thought they reported the 4th, but in their market. I could have swore. Maybe I'm wrong. Somebody let me know if I'm right or wrong. Let's see here. So with them, you can see that you're kind of teetering over right here. Not a huge fan. Yeah, just not a huge fan. So that's that. Next, PayPal, PYPL. When do they report? They report next week on the 8th, I believe. Yep. So they report on the 8th. So don't be in this thing during earnings. And I'm sure that PayPal reports after the bell. But look at this epic decline that they've had. This has been a really great short. Yeah, I love it. This is good. But if you've caught all of this, excellent job. If you haven't, just relax. And look at where this thing came from all-time highs. This thing, I remember back here, this is when all of the bid and ask was in this thing, making money on this thing, and it was great. They were making money from all different perspectives. Who would have thought that PayPal would end up basically $100 shorter just a few months later? So PayPal has had an interesting collapse. Baba reports earnings next week. They report on the 18th. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Because it's interesting. If you look at here, it tells you that Baba reports on the 29th of October, which doesn't make any sense. So, all right, 11/11. Thank you, sir. Yeah, we've seen that review, and that guy is a bozo. And but I would still implore somebody to please send me that ridiculous white hat because I will for sure wear it to Mexico. Moderna dropped big time. Oh boy, look at this fall. Epic. They dropped 18% yesterday and even more today. So that was that's disruptive. It's amazing when you have a company that makes one drug and they all fall apart like Ocugen. Too bad, so sad. So it fell here. I shouldn't say they only make one drug. They bank on one drug. That's what you get. Oh boy, they dropped below their 200-day moving average. Market just open. Terrible earnings, I guess. I think they missed. Was it 65? Was their expected decline from revenue 65% or 20%? I can't remember. I've been reading so many earnings reports. I don't remember anymore. But this thing has just dropped right down to the support level, right at about the 200-day moving average. So I would expect this thing to come up. Now, you guys are going to ask me, what about these two gaps? Because there's two gaps. I have not seen this before, so I don't know what to tell you. We're all going to be reading this one together and seeing how double gaps work. But that's that. Okay, give me a couple more and I'll just keep rolling. MRK. I have I'll stick around for another 2 minutes. Holy moly. What is going on here? Wasn't Merck didn't they report amazing earnings based on... Oh, no. What they reported was their COVID pill. What happened with the COVID pill? Somebody tell me. This thing just completely gapped down. My goodness. The volatility in this market is truly, truly unreal. Truly unreal. I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen anything like it. Zillow, same thing. I'm not trusting Zillow as far as I can throw them, and I can't pick up a house and throw it. So I'm not doing that one. EBIX, looking good. If you get an engulfing candlestick to break out, go for it. You have to fill this gap. You're in a really good situation right here. So EBIX and what was the other one? Matt Jones. What was the other one I just said? EBIX and something else for the gaps. Tesla, let's see. Was this a flagpole pattern? I think they had a little bit of a pullback in there. Yeah, they had a good pullback. So they should be okay. Tesla should be okay up here. Not saying that it won't come back down here, but it should be okay for the most part. It's just because of Pfizer. Pfizer what? It dropped because of Pfizer news. Okay, noted. What else do we have? Amgen. AMGN. All right. I will do 2 more stocks, then I'm going to sneak out of here, and we have book club in a few minutes. Well, an hour, but okay. So with Amgen, keep watching this thing. Let it break out. Let it make an engulfing candlestick with the trend being in the sweet spot, and you will be just perfectly fine. Somebody give me one more stock, and I'll rip it off. I'm going to do NVIDIA. and then I'll do one of what you guys want. So is this, I just want to make sure this is not a pole vault. Yeah, it kind of is. So I wouldn't be surprised if this thing fell back to $250 because it's totally irrational for this company, NVIDIA, to go up 17% yesterday and just keep going. It was higher pre-market. So, all right. Let's do one more. Let's do TXN. Yeah, so it was TXN and damn it, I can't remember now. I can't remember the other one. TXN and EBIX. That's it. Facebook. Let's do Facebook. Thank you, HP. Okay, so Facebook. This is looking good, but I don't like the volatility that's being created. We're getting these gaps in all sorts of places. This is starting to look like Alibaba was. Now, remember, I'm saying that because it was Alibaba, because it was the volatility that was just throwing the thing all over the place. That's the reason I'm saying it was like Alibaba. So let's let the news settle down. Let's let the overreaction settle down, and we'll just keep watching it. And I think that this is going to be a nice play at some point. I want to look at Peloton before we get out of here. Down 33%, down 33.56%, down 33.53%. So keep a watch on this. Don't get too excited with this thing, and you guys will be all right. All right. For those of you that are not in the EM community, I'll see you on Monday. For those of you that are, I'll see you at 10:30, and then Bid and Ask. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. And that's about it. Another great week. Another great week of wins. You guys have a wonderful weekend. Go be disruptive. Thank you.